Men want this more than beauty and even sex. We're going to dive into this conversation today. You know, it occurs to me that a lot of dating and relationship coaches give generalized advice, which is actually rather understandable for a variety of different reasons. But today I'm going to make it rather personal. And I want to share the reasons why I fell for my girlfriend. In other words, I'm giving you real life examples from a man who is actually very much in love. I know you've seen titles like 5 Ways to Make a Man Love You, 5 Ways to Get a Man to Commit, 5 Ways to Turn Your Ex Around. There's always 5 different ways to doing something. But I'm going to give you 15 reasons why I chose this person. And my hope is by sharing this with you, not only can you get some insight on in a way that you might want to navigate your love life going forward, but I also want to say, folks, look, I'm in midlife. I've been out in the dating realm for almost 20 years. I've had 3 significant relationships, including the one I'm in right now. I've been on the dating apps. I've navigated a lot of the frustration you've navigated, whether it's ghosting, whether it's narcissistic behavior, whether it's gaslighting, all the different types of experiences one could have in the dating marketplace. I've experienced it. And here's the thing. If I can find love, so can you. Now, you might be saying, well, Jonathan, you're a guy. You're a guy who wants a life partnership-based relationship. Yeah, I've wanted that. But I've oftentimes done it under the guise of, I want a relationship. See, there's a big difference between someone who says they want a relationship versus those that want a life partnership-based relationship. If you haven't seen my chart, and by the way, if you read here, this is not a fact, it's merely an opinion. There are 3 types of people actively dating, both men and women. 20% of the population are users. They seek short-term game. They're love bombers, they're players, they're gold diggers. They oftentimes only care about themselves. And while over here, 20% are what called grower builders. They seek long-term commitment. They're emotionally grown up. They have their act together. They have good relationship skills. Most everybody falls into this category. 60% are what I call spenders. The reason why they're called spenders, they want it. They want some companionship. They want some connection. They want some sex, but they have no direction. They're uncertain, they're fearful, they have a dysfunctional life. The reason why they're called spenders, they'll spend time with you as a placeholder in your life. See, men who really want life partnership-based relationships like I do, or do and did meaning I'm already feel like I'm with a life partner. I'm going to tell you something. We men that want life partnership-based relationships, we know within 90 days if we want to pursue something with someone. We know it within 90 days. It doesn't take us much longer. But you're probably going, but Jonathan, I'm in a long-distance relationship. We've been communicating for on and off for 3 years together. And I'm being rhetorical here. Here's the thing, folks. If you can't spend regular time together doing shared activities, hobbies, mutual interests, spending time with family and friends, then you probably find yourself in a situationship, could be a friends with benefits, but you don't know about it, or a casual relationship. See, men who are grower builders, they want something more than just the physical attraction, and also they want something more than the physical sex. Okay, so why I'm sharing this with you today, the title is What Men Want More Than Beauty, is because in truth, my girlfriend and I did not have chemistry on our first date. We didn't have that physical attraction. We weren't each other's type. Now, I can't tell you why, because I find her very attractive and we have amazing chemistry together. I believe if she were here right now, she'd say the same thing, but we didn't have it. But let's not get into that particular. What happened was we end up having a 5-hour coffee date overlooking the marina at a hotel. Reason why I'm sharing this is we got along so well with one another. We had intellectual chemistry. We had emotional chemistry. We even, I believe, had spiritual chemistry going on, but we didn't have that drive to want to be with one another from a physical perspective. And what happened next is something I want to share with you. And again, I'm going to give you 15 things that I think that she did that made her stand out more than the other women I've dated in previous experiences. So what happened is we ended up having a phone call a few days after the date saying, hey, what do you think? And she's like, I wasn't feeling it. And she goes, I said, I wasn't feeling it. And she said, I wasn't feeling it. We're like both a little surprised. We seem to check a lot of the boxes, but we understood that we didn't get into the why there wasn't chemistry. We just accepted it. And what happened next is we built a friendship over the telephone. We ended up being curious about one another. I was fascinated the way her life was. I fascinated about her past experiences. We had mutual friends in common, close friends to one another. So we had some shared experiences and some familiarity between the two of us. And we just got really radically curious about one another without the expectation of a destination. Boy, did that take the pressure off. And in fact, because that expectation of a destination was off the table, we ended up just connecting with one another, sharing each other's lives with one another. And what we found is as we were sharing from that place of the mask was off, we became more and more attracted to one another. So I've got some notes I written down, and I want to share with you 15 things that I observed, or I've since observed, that made me want to pursue this relationship. So let me read from my notes. Please forgive me. Oh, by the way, I had a mole removed today, or frozen off today. So if you see a little scar there, please forgive me. Well, not that I need your forgiveness, but I just wanted to share that. So number one thing that she did, she led with friendship. Now, we both led with friendship. And what I want to say, why that's so critically important, there was care, play, teamwork before romance ever got involved. See, we actually were curious about one another's lives. We were like, hey, I want to talk to you like a friend without the romance clouding judgment, without the expectation of attraction, entertainment, romance, and physical connection. It allowed us to get to know one another at a heart-centered level from a base of a friendship. You know, it's kind of interesting. About 7 days into talking with her, and we were spending hours upon hours throughout the day, each day talking with one another because we were building a friendship with one another. She's retired. I work like I'm semi-retired, so we have a lot of time, or did have a lot of time on our hands to chat with one another. What was interesting about 7 days in, I just liked the way her mind worked, and I said something. I go, God, I love you. Now, what I meant was, I really, really like you. I like who you are as a person. We were building friendship. You know, I'm a believer nowadays we should start in the friend zone before there's a physical connection. See if you genuinely like this person as a friend. But again, we're so hyper-focused on entertainment, attraction, romance, and physical connection that we forget oftentimes to build a friendship. And what she did, and the reason why I fell in love with her, is we both led with friendship. Number two, here's what I wrote down. Her energy was calm and regulated. Her energy was calm and regulated. No roller coaster. Secure love feels steady, by the way. Your nervous system finally exhaled. What I meant was her energy was calm and regulated, which caused my energy to be calm and regulated. Wasn't all over the map. It wasn't needing constant text messaging. How's your day going? Did you have a good day? I hope you had a good day. That need for constant validation, I think, is a byproduct of these devices that didn't exist 30 years ago. But today, there's so much anxiety with people dating today because there's so much uncertainty. There's so much choice out there that we are all seem to be on edge. And what I liked about her, she was calm and regulated. Number three, she named things clearly. She named things clearly. What I mean is, when I shared about my travel anxiety, she gently spotted the control thread without shaming me. So my point is, those who follow my channel know I have travel anxiety. I shared that with her. Again, we were building friendship. I'm just sharing with a part of my personality. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I share this with everybody because I can't tell you how many women's dating profiles. Do you have a passport? You know, are you travel oriented? And I want to travel. I have a passport. It's just I have anxiety when I travel. Is it the type that makes me like a screaming child? No, it's just I feel uncomfortable. And what she said is, it seems like you have an issue of control. And she said it calmly. She said it, cleanly. And as we dug into it, that's true. When I'm in an environment that I don't feel safe, I don't feel in control, it makes me uncomfortable. And she named it cleanly, clearly, without judging me, without shaming me. And that's one thing I totally, totally appreciate about her. Number 4, she was consistent. You know what bothers me in dating today? Both men and women who are consistently inconsistent. She was consistent with her texts, dates, and tone, availability, all aligned with mine. Predictability turned attraction into trust. Write that down. Someone write that in the chat box. Predictability turned attraction into trust. When someone is consistent, when their actions match their words consistently, that builds trust with another person, which I found very attractive. I've had so many experiences where women have been, listen, I get people are busy. I get people have busy lives. But the minute you decide you want to put yourself out in the dating world and you want a life partner, then folks, it's time to take this shit fucking seriously instead of cavalier ambivalent. Cavalier ambivalent. That's the way a lot of people act today. They can act naive. Oh, I've got a busy life. But you know, the minute you start engaging with someone, would you treat your boss inconsistently? I don't think so. Why treat a stranger that way? That doesn't build trust. And that's one of the things I admired most about her. Okay, number 5, she had a life. Oh my God. She had a life. She had purpose, friends, rhythms. I wasn't there recruiting to fill a void. Yes, she's retired and she's a passionate painter, but she has a life. She had friends. I know one time I texted her, said, can you chat? She goes, no, I'm heading out with friends. Now, many of you have too busy a life. And I know some of you don't have much of a life at all. I've come across clients of mine. By the way, if you need some support working with me, hey, there's a link right here. Schedule a discovery call with me to see if working with a coach is right for you. In fact, as you're watching this today, remind me of this video. I'm actually offering a special this month where you're getting almost 30% increase in coaching at a fraction of the cost. So just schedule a discovery call with me to learn more about that. But she had a life. She had a purpose. Again, some women have too much of life. They don't make room for someone. And other women oftentimes have no life whatsoever. And they're putting so much pressure on the relationship. Okay. Number 6, she made commitment simple. She made commitment simple. Let me read for this. Her clear yes when we talked about mutual exclusivity. In fact, we even read my dating vows to one another. By the way, have you read my dating vows? There's a link below to get a copy of my dating vows. It also allows you to join my mailing list. My dating vows, listen, my girlfriend thinks this is cheesy, but I think in today's environment, being clear, having clear agreements, sets a stage for trust. So let me just share with you what the dating vows are. It's where you declare with one another, I, Jonathan, agree to explore the process to getting to know you from a truthful place with the intent to declare something serious in the next 3 to 6 months. I agree to be monogamous sexually while we have regular sex together. I agree not to actively seek to meet and date others while we're in the dating process, including taking down our dating profiles. I agree to speak up if this isn't working for me versus pulling back, ghosting, or disappearing. And I agree to invest regular time in the process to getting to know you. Listen, I would say by the time you're physically intimate, this might be a good thing to share with one another is the dating vows. Okay. And also, it's a way to be on the same page with one another. And what I liked about her, she made commitment easy. Okay. All right, number 7. She spoke my values. In other words, she shared her values and her values lined with me. Friendship first, emotional maturity, repair over blame, curiosity over chemistry, curiosity over chemistry and chasing. I felt mirrored on the things that mattered to me. Number 8, she received my story with reverence, not trying to rescue me, not trying to rebuild me. She received my story, in other words, my life story, with reverence. And quite frankly, I did the same with her. Folks, we all, okay, I'm 60, okay? I'm over 60, okay? I had life well before I met her. I have a story that goes with that life. I have so many life experiences. Folks, if you're not talking about your past with someone, how can they get to know you from a future perspective if they don't know where you came from? We continually speak to each other. How did we get here? Meaning our past. Where are we right now? And where do we want to go? She makes that easy. She practiced number 9. She practiced micro repairs. Hey, we had a couple disagreements. We had a couple miscues. She constantly does micro repairs. In other words, she always checks in from a place of curiosity. So, as a matter of fact, on her tombstone, I'm going to write curious under her name because she operates from a place of curiosity. Number 10, she invited teamwork. Shared plans, rituals, logistics, even our money mindset. We talked about our finances very early on because for those of us in midlife, the days in front of us are the shorter than the days behind us. But more importantly, I'm not in a position to take care of someone for the rest of their life. Thankfully, she had her own resources. I have my own resources. I'd love to be able to leave money for my children at some point. She feels the same. But we had these difficult conversations and because she invited teamwork. That's number 10. Number 11, she admired my gifts without outsourcing her power. She admired my gifts without outsourcing her power. What I mean is she appreciates me, not just adores me. I felt chosen by this person. Now, be candid with you. If she was here right now, she would say she felt chosen. You know, the best relationships where the other person, it's like this. I got the best end of the deal. And her saying she got the best end of the deal. She admired my gifts without outsourcing her power. Sadly, I see too many women either doormats or entitled. Folks, I can't tell you how many, sadly, I see women who act as doormats or entitled. What I appreciate most is she is in her power, in her sovereignty. And I find that way sexier than just beauty or sex. Number 12, she brought lightness, humor, warmth, tiny delights. You know what? It's funny. I see so few couples actually laugh and play together. She and I are constantly laughing and playing with each other. We love going down rabbit holes. If you were the fly on the wall in one of our conversations, you would think we're crazy. She doesn't think I'm exhausting. She loves going down rabbit holes with me, and we laugh and we play through these experiences. Now, that happens to be our jam. Everybody else has their own jam. But if you don't bring lightness, humor, and warmth and tiny delights, that's what turned me on. Number 13, she didn't rush my edges. What I mean is space when I needed, presence when invited. You know what? We both agreed that we like our sovereignty and our solitude, and we like our time together. She wasn't texting me, how come you don't text me in the morning? How come you don't text me at night? I can't begin how many, I hear so many coaches, tell a man how you feel. You know, if you feel like you deserve a text in the morning, tell them that you feel that way. Folks, if we're coming from a place of fear of anxiety, then you're going to be putting pressure on the relationship. Just relax into it. A relationship should feel like two people coming together over those 3 or 4. By the way, we're 4 months into our relationship. I know some of you go, that might be too soon. But folks, the reason why I'm sharing this with you right now, not like a giddy school kid, not like I'm in love bombing or lust. It's because I think I want to share in real time what I'm experiencing. And I'm going to be doing this for the next couple of years, sharing real time the progression of this relationship. Number 14, she asked real questions before kisses carried us away. She asked deep, serious questions before kissing carried us away. And number 15, to this day, she keeps choosing me and I keep choosing her. We always have a habit of sending sweet text messages to one another, but not just how it's coming from the heart, sharing something that says, I choose you every day. And that's the thing I most appreciate about this relationship. Why is it working for me? Partially because I was ready, but partially because she was ready too. When two ready people get together, when two grower builders come together, as I said in the beginning of this broadcast, you know within 90 days if this is a life partnership-based relationship that you want to go the distance, or you're just in something casual where you're spending time with each other as placeholders to get the need of companionship, connection, and sex without any real commitment. Is this sinking in? Is this resonating with you? Please let me know if it is. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Post a comment below. I do my best to read them all before the first 24 hours. As always, if you find value in my videos, please hit that like button. Please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of new videos. And if you want to connect with me directly, hey, schedule a discovery call with me. As I said, I'm offering a gigantic discount. Just mention this video. Check out my other links. Get the books I recommend, all listed below.